Lokati here. Today we're going to go over one of our league starters, and I haven't decided what I'm league starting yet, so we're going to start off with our Kitava Smith. This is an Ignite-based warrior. We are taking a fairly simple warrior tree that paths down through important nodes. We have Smash for more damage, Reverberating Impact for more area of effect, Blood Rush for skill speed, Burning Strikes for additional fire damage. And then we go down, so when you're pathing out, you'll take these nodes first. This one is for block chance, and down here for block chance and block damage. These nodes will probably take later on in the game, although if you want block early, you can get those. This is increased area and increased damage for area attacks. Over here, again, more increased block chance for defensive nodes. Down here, we're taking a lot of strength nodes. Take strength nodes down here. And then the build kind of centers around Giant's Blood, Unnatural Resilience, and Avatar of Fire. So the way this is going to work is we are going to be using Hammer of the Gods for single target, and Stampede for multi-target. And then everything in here is designed to support that. We have stuns and armor breaks are going to be important to us, so fire exposure from heavy stuns are good. And then obviously increased chance to ignite and damage against ignited enemies is good. Converting everything to blood magic so we don't have to worry about mana. We are taking this for the increased area of effect. And we're going up here again for the increased damage per 1% chance to block. Now our rotation is going to be versus single target. We're going to Mace Strike until heavy stunned. And then we're going to Hammer of the Gods. So it'll be Mace Strike until heavy stunned, Infernal Cry, Hammer of the Gods. This will drop a gigantic ignite on the target, ideally killing the target inside one hammer. Could need to, depending on gear, scaling, and how everything is going to work. Now in Mace Strike, we are supporting with Ruthless and Rage, but we are going to have other supports in here, but these are going to be new supports. I would like to include Cadence in here, assuming we can maintain our attack rate on Mace Strike to stay within the Cadence window, and we'll see what else they have that we can include in here. Hammer of the Gods is probably going to be Fist of War, Eternal Flame, Primal Armament, Concentrated Effect in Close Combat. These are all just designed to scale and maximize the damage of the Ignite from the hammer. And then Stampede, we are using Fire Infusion for extra fire damage, but the basis of Stampede is we Stampede, we stun the target with Overpower and a lot of stun buildup. That stun triggers Devastate. Devastate fully breaks armor, fully broken armor explosions. The armor explosion goes out and kills everything in the Stampede, and then you move on to the next pack. So that's how that's going to work. We're going to get stun from our mace. We're going to get stun from our jewels as well. We do want to be able to stun everything except for extremely tanky rares, strictly with Stampede. And then on extremely tanky rares, if they're still alive after all of the chain explosions, then we Hammer the Gods them, or you can Mace Strike them to death. Now, we are going to use Heat the Forge as part of our Kitava Smith, which is use a fire spell on attack to automatically trigger flammability so that we don't have to worry about casting flammability. Infernal Cry again to support Hammer of the Gods, Overwhelming Presence to increase the ignite magnitude, Scavenge Plating for defenses, Leap Slam with Holy Descent for movement, Shield Charge with Ingenuity for movement, and that'll be all of our skill setups right here. Now, on our Forged in Flame and Coal Stoker, we're getting maximum cold and lightning res, and then cold and lightning resistance. So all of our gearing is fire res ruby rings, fire res ruby rings, fire res and chaos res, fire res, so on and so forth. The gearing on this is going to be pretty straightforward. This node right here, Unnatural Resilience, allows us to cap our maximum fire res with uncapped fire resistance. And so that synergizes incredibly well with the Kitava Smith because all we do is stack fire res and we get max fire res, max cold res, max lightning res, and cold and lightning res. Very, very straightforward right here. If you're under geared, you can always come up to Prism Guard and go through max fire res here, and Prism Guard here to get your maximum resistance up. But this should be enough with decent gearing on the character. Now, items, we're going to go ahead and use a Great Hammer. This ideally will be as many elemental damage with attacks, runes as you can support while still being able to meet the stat requirements, and you convert to Int whenever you don't have enough strength. Surrender for the recovery, 4% of life when you block with a high block chance. Be a tremendous amount of recovery for us in mapping. A helmet that just has armor, life, strength, and resistances. And then we're going to take reduced critical strike bonus damage as often as we can. We are relying on a Cloak of Flame to deal with most of our physical damage reduction. And then ideally, we want to corrupt this with additional physical reduction or corrupt it with a higher roll on the physical damage taken as fire damage. This is going to be keeping us alive from physical damage, and then this will be keeping us alive from elemental damage. On our gloves, we are looking for max life, attack speed, strength, melee skills, armor, standard stuff. Boots, movement speed, armor, max life, strength, resistances. We're using an Astramintus. I expect them to be very cheap since attribute stackers are dead. If you can't get an Astramintus because they're expensive again or rare or hard to get a hold of, you can just use any amulet that helps to meet your strength and your int requirements for the build. Again, using runes in your hammer to lower the attribute requirement as necessary so that you can equip it. Our rings, again, are fire rings that we're using for strength, int, and fire res. If you have the strength and int necessary for the build, then you can go ahead and augment this with fire instead. Ideally, it'll have fizz damage and fire damage and max life on it. For belts, we are just running a flask recovery applied instantly utility belt with armor, max life, strength, and resistances on it. So this will be how we're set up. Our jewels are, you're just looking for anything useful plus stun buildup. So penetrates fire resistance is good, magnitude of ignite is good, fire damage is good. Anything useful plus stun buildup, because we are going to need a lot of stun buildup to trigger Stampede. Now, normally this build would have been done on a Titan. Titan gets crushing blows. Crushing blows allow you to automatically heavy stun primed targets. Priming the target is a much lower requirement than fully heavy stunning the target. And so because we don't have crushing blows, we are going to need stun buildup here. Now, if we get access to some stun buildup gems that synergize well with Stampede, we can lose out on overpower and get a better stun supporting gem in here. Maybe a crushing blow support gem gets added, things like that. Could be very useful for us. So we'll see what support gems are added that are beneficial to us. And we'll look at what passives on the skill tree have changed so that we may need to make some changes here. But I think this will be a really good basis for a strong character that's fast, clears well, is easy to gear, and gets you into a good league start position. Now, if you have any questions over any of this, just drop a comment down below or come by my Twitch channel, and I'm happy to answer them. We'll continue theory crafting today to see what other builds we can come up with. Thank y'all very much for watching. Peace.